5.
What's up, everybody? This is Presto.
Corporal Nosage.
And you are listening to episode 128 of the Nintendads podcast, the physical takedown episode. On today's episode, unless you've been living under a rock, we're going to talk about how Sony made a little bit of an oops in their announcement of stopping production on physical media. We're going to talk about our review of the new Star Fox game on the Nintendo Switch 2. And we're going to dip our toe into the pond of Splatoon Raiders with the in-store demo that we both tried. That is pretty damn good. So that's what you're in store for in the next hour. And we're going to keep it under an hour. You'd watch. We promise.
Time us. Go.
I guess you're going to know before we do, because when you're listening to this, it's going to be uploaded. So... But before we jump into any of that, I have to ask the most important question of the week. Corporal, what have you been playing?
Can I be honest?
Yeah, I mean...
I'm gonna say
sure.
it regardless. Besides Fortnite, which has now become a family staple, because now we play on the Switch 2, the Xbox, and the Xbox One.
Oh, do you? Do you own a Switch 2?
We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that in this. That was not
loaded
outlined.
Question.
That was not outlined in the show notes. Corporal has subsided his disbelief that it is a worthy console and have
purchased. It's Schrodinger's Switch. Corporal has a Switch 2 and doesn't have a Switch 2
at the same time. That's right. Right. Fortnite, but I've been playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yeah. That's okay. I mean, that's been getting great press. People have been talking about it.
I have also downloaded Halo Combat Evolved, whatever it's called, remastered or resynced or reloaded, some nonsense.
Yeah, when is that? That comes out. That officially comes out.
The official release date is on my birthday.
Oh. And it's not just any birthday. Our dear Corporal is turning the big 4. Oh my gosh. And to celebrate, you're going to be playing like the oldest game.
Yeah.
I think that's... Is there going to be a birthday stream for Combat Evolved?
There's a chance that Yeti's going to be here at my house.
I don't know if we're going to get banned.
Yeah.
You guys playing Halo on your birthday?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's fit for public consumption.
No. But
my most important question is, I'm going to just skip right to the side quest. When are we getting a grilling with Corporal stream?
Yo.
I don't care about games. I don't care about Splatoon, Nintendo, Switch 2, nothing. I want to see some meat.
I'm going to show you some meat. Actually, I mentioned that to Lady Sage the other day. And besides, oh my God, the backyard needs to be cleaned up and look nice before you do that, which I personally agree with. But I've been thinking about that now that I've got the new grill. I would need to get a tripod stand. I've got a spare camera. I could do this.
You should have a face. You should have one that's pointing towards you, and then another one that's top down on the grill. The grill cam and the chef cam.
I think that's something I could work out. I'll have to figure out how to do that. I guess I'd have to have a laptop outside in order for that to work. But
that's true.
In order to do 2 cameras like that. Otherwise, I could just use my phone and go live from my phone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not a bad option. Honestly,
I want to see it.
30 minutes of me cooking and talking about video games, I would do that. I think I would do that. So
have a couple brews.
I'll have to wear a shirt when I'm doing it, I suppose. But outside with a grill. I
You're
mean,
missing the point of this entirely. I've been playing some Splatoon 3 against my better judgment. Because there's a Splatfest and I'm getting ready. I'm getting in the mood to play Splatoon Raiders when it comes out in like a week and a half. But I finally bit the bullet and bought Grand Blue Fantasy Relink
that is a
Endless
mouthful.
Ragnarok yesterday. Yeah, I tried the demo. This game has been on my wish list in Steam for 2 years. And it's like Genshin Impact meets Monster Hunter. It's mission-based combat. Didn't get it. Kind of gave up hope on it. Out of nowhere, massive DLC expansion and a port to the Switch 2 for $60 that includes the DLC expansion. It's all I've been seeing people talk about on Twitter, so I had to get it. And I got it, and it's really fun. And I don't know if I'm going to stream it or not, though, because we'll see. What you been sipping on, my friend?
Yingling Light Lager has been
Oh yes.
my summer drink, and I have this green like kale juice that I bought, like all healthy kale juice, green pineapple and kale that
Okay.
I mix with my lemonade hydration powder. And
I have my lemonade hydration powder right here. That I don't know why they're not a sponsor yet because we
yeah,
talk about them
all
every
the
week.
time. Yeah. But honestly, that's been my morning go-to. So every morning.
How's the coffee? The mushroom coffee going? Are you still doing those?
I have them every once in a while, not
You
as
got to have
often,
them. Your feedback to me was that you got to have them like
consistently, and
consistently.
I haven't been, and I haven't been because I am not enjoying the overall flavor as much, and
Uh,
I mean, it's mushroom
you got to
coffee.
find coffee that just overpowers, that
Yeah,
dominates
yeah,
mushroom. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm pretty much on 2 double shots of iced espresso, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, like clockwork. That's just how we get down in the summer. Anyway, look, we are kind of keeping to our allotted timetable here, so let's move right along. So the big news in gaming this week is Sony has announced that they will stop producing physical media for PlayStation by 2028.
Yep,
And
yep.
attached to that announcement was that they are dropping support for the PlayStation 3 and I think PlayStation Portable digital game stores,
Yeah,
which is kind of just like salt in the wound. That's an example of why you don't want to stop producing physical media.
but
But the real thing is that they're stopping producing physical media.
that's not the only hesitation that happened with PlayStation. They also went ahead and announced that, well, I don't know if they announced, they lost their licensing for a lot of digital content. So dozens of people who had purchased hundreds and hundreds of movies and other digital content that was a part of this licensing deal, they lost access to something that they have already paid for. Specifically, movies. There was like 500 movies that people had paid for and no longer have access to because licensing is gone. So not only did you pay for it, and not only is Sony saying they're no longer going to support physical media, but Sony has proven that any type of digital media you are at the whim of whether or not their big corporate overlords will allow you to have access to their licensing for it. And that, my friends, makes the PlayStation ecosystem, in my opinion, obsolete. Now, we all know that I'm a huge Xbox fanboy. Xbox did announce that they are going to create the next generation console, and the next generation console will not have a CD tray.
Boo.
Which,
So is that their kind of sneak around way of saying that they're also going to stop producing physical media?
I
Because
think so.
if it doesn't have a CD tray, it's going to be real hard getting the CDs in there.
Yep.
I'm not an engineer, but
I also think that that's Xbox's way of sneaking around without saying it directly. But Xbox saw the writing on the wall before PlayStation did, and at the same breath of PlayStation saying no physical copies, and we control all digital media whether you like it or not, Xbox came out and said, well, if you have physical media, we'll allow you to put that physical media into your current console, and we will scan that physical media and create a licensing for that product and give you lifetime ownership of a digital license of that product. So this way, when you transition over to the next generation console that doesn't have a CD tray, you still have access to all of your previously purchased content.
I mean, that's cool.
I think that's phenomenal. That's a kick in the face to PlayStation.
And it's just a general quality of life improvement, because if you have your, 30 game library of Xbox games because you're a physical media enthusiast, you don't have to do the shuffle every time you want to play that game because you have it. I mean, if you have enough memory,
Yep.
but you have digital versions, you can download it. You don't have to hunt for the CD. But this has a massive chilling effect on used games, because if you have a physical copy and you put it in and now you have the digital version, what happens if you lend me that physical copy or you sell that physical copy? What happens? Are you still able to play it and then you just can't claim it digitally? Do you know how that works?
I think, and this is purely my speculation because there's been no actual clarification on this, I think that the value of that physical media just plummeted. So secondhand selling or shops like GameStop are going to see value of their physical medias dramatically decrease. But I think that if I were to use the licensing on my console, my account now has had licensing for this physical media, that makes the resale value of this physical media obsolete. But I think that if I were to lend you my physical media, as long as you're in offline mode, I assume you should still be able to play it locally. You just will not be able to continue to play it once the physical media has been removed from your console.
Transferring ownership. If you trade a used disc to a retailer like GameStop or sell it to a friend, a digital license moves with the disc. The next person who inserts that specific disc will be able to claim digital entitlement for their own account.
Interesting.
So that needs to be very clear.
Yeah.
Because I just had to look that up. Because what's going to happen is little Timmy's going to go, I got this game from GameStop. I put it in my Xbox. Yeah, now I have it on Xbox. I'm going to sell the CD and get a game for free. And then,
GameStop resells it, and now George.
and then little Timmy has lost
Yep.
access to his game.
But this also means that if you move forward to the next generation of Xbox consoles, you'll still have to hold on to a past generation console if you want to purchase a physical media and link it to your account in order to receive secondhand purchasing price.
Oh, that's a good point. So if you want to play an Xbox Series X game on Project Helix, you have to go to the store, buy the disc, put it in your old Xbox, have it read
links to your account,
the license, and then
unless there's somehow going to be able to provide.
It's going to be a matter of time before Xbox just sells a physical game reader attachment. Right?
Yeah.
A relic you have there.
I do have a relic.
My favorite part about Sony announcing this is, number one, all the brands, including non-video game brands, that are absolutely dogging on Sony.
Oh my gosh.
I believe it was I believe it was Wendy's said they will stop producing physical burgers. All of their menu items will now only be available as digital downloads.
Domino's has done the same
Domino's,
thing.
Domino's,
Yeah,
Domino's.
Domino's has done the exact same thing. Yep.
Sony is getting bashed
So hard.
pretty much. Like I haven't heard a single person be like, "Oh yeah, what a great move! Thanks for innovating." Like,
I also have heard that like anytime Sony has any type of multimedia response, whether it's on Twitter, an article released, or any type of video that's posted, their comment sections and reactions to those contents as a company have been absolute just memeing the heck out of them. And Domino's has jumped in to continue it.
I'm repotting my plant, which is normally right there, so you see the mess and what is behind there.
That PlayStation logo?
And forgotten is the PlayStation thing. Hold on, I'm gonna put this. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, get that out of view.
Here, it's not charged, but anyway. So
trash.
The other big thing that I've seen is so many people. I've seen probably hundreds of posts at this point on Twitter or X, depending on if you have any brain cells left, is that people are buying Nintendo Switches and saying, I sold my PlayStation 5 to get a Nintendo Switch 2. Forget Sony. That's not what they're saying, but they're saying, F Sony, I'm getting a Switch 2, long live physical media. My timeline, the 3 days following the Sony announcement was just filled with people saying, I give up on Sony, I bought a Switch 2. Nintendo is absolutely feasting off of this announcement because they did say that physical game cartridges, will continue to remain the main product in their systems.
So, from a tactical or logistical standpoint, let's just think about this for a moment. Microsoft is the second biggest platform for gaming, and Microsoft is the powerhouse of most PCs. So, compare a Microsoft PC or pair a Microsoft Windows-based PC with Xbox Game Pass, you now have 80% of access to most games. You could probably even say 70 or 60% of most games. The remaining balance of games available on PC are usually accessed through Steam. Steam has everything else, but you have access to Steam from your Windows PC. Project Helix on the Xbox console has already been leaked by Microsoft themselves that the new Xbox console will have Steam on their platform, which means
we'll see. Do you know how many episodes we've said, "Oh, it was leaked that Xbox is going to support Steam"? Like,
I'm everything I've seen has leaned to Xbox's allowing Steam access on their console. And they have already announced that the next console is going to be geared towards a low grade, mid grade PC hardware. So if that's possible, here's my point: is that if that's possible, PC, Windows, Xbox, Steam available on one console, the only ecosystem you need left, unless you're a PlayStation fanboy foaming at the mouth, is a Switch, because between the Switch ecosystem and what you can get on Steam, 90% of the things that are available on PlayStation, you can find a way of getting on the PC. So all you need in your life is a PC and a Switch, and you have access to 99% of all games that are released in the industry. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, a lot of the posts that I've been seeing are saying PC and Switch is the ideal way to game.
Perfect pairing.
My question, my skepticism about Steam running on Xbox is why would Valve allow Xbox to put Steam on the new Xbox when they have just released or announced the release and the terrible pricing of the Steam machine?
I think you just answered your own question. The terrible pricing of the Steam machine means that they're not going to sell a lot of those consoles. And I think that they are specifically marketed to the individuals who don't want an Xbox.
So you think they're hedging the sales by allowing Steam on Xbox?
Yep.
I don't know.
And let's face it, the Steam ecosystem is better than the PlayStation or the Xbox ecosystem on a standalone case by case basis. Compared to the ecosystems individually, the Steam ecosystem is by far the best. It's the best for pricing and deals, but it's also the best for allowing DLC and aftermarket content, which I think if Xbox is going to start allowing Steam content on their consoles, they may also start allowing the aftermarket third-party content being able to download through Steam. And if Xbox allows that, I think that is the PlayStation killer.
And now we're getting down into hypothetical.
Yep.
I've heard the new Xbox console is going to run Windows, and that is a non-starter for me.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people hate Windows, and I understand. The Xbox app that's available on the Windows PC that's sitting in front of me right now that we're doing this episode on, I think is trash.
It is trash. It's trash. It's got flies flying around it and everything. It's awful.
If they are going to go down that path, they need to redesign the entire Xbox ecosystem to work properly. And I don't know if they're capable to do it. But what I will say is that the new CEO of Xbox, she is bringing the heat. This woman is reinvigorating that entire company. And you can talk about the layoffs, you can talk about the changes that she's making, but everything she has done so far has been to save that brand and push it in the right direction. And I'm on board for it.
What about id Games? id Games, the makers of Quake, they're dead. I think they have 30-something employees, and 20-something of them just got laid off.
Double Fine Studios is being sold off, which
Double Fine is going back to being independent. They said, forget it. They said, we're done. We're doing it ourselves.
There's a couple other brands that Xbox is going to sell off or spin off as independents, depending on individual licensing and laws in different countries. But I think that will be the long-term best move, not only for Xbox, but Double Fine makes some great content.
Double Fine will be fine.
Yeah.
They're going to figure it out. I just worry about the long-term implications of Sony doing this. I mean, we've seen over the past couple years, and specifically this generation of console, we've seen a lot of, emphasis on game preservation. And Nintendo has absolutely been a shit for game preservation because they make it very difficult. If you want to play Mario Sunshine right now in 2026, good luck. It's the only place you can legally play Mario Sunshine is in two places. In the original disc using a GameCube that somehow still works, or if you were lucky and you got the Mario 3D All-Stars physical thing and you have that. There is no digital version. And there's a lot of old legacy Nintendo games that you can only play through either a subscription or a digital-only version. But we just spent 10 minutes saying why digital-only is fine until it's not, and then that game is gone forever. I am not optimistic about this trend shifting away from physical media, because if big companies have shown us one thing, is that they cannot be trusted and just say, oh, no, it'll always be on the shop. By the way, the PlayStation 3 shop, that's gone. We didn't mean that one. We meant the ones that we want you to buy right now. They're going to be fine.
And an antidote of this will be Kingdom Hearts. They have physically removed Kingdom Hearts from the shop but they then announced that there's a new digital bundle pack version that's going to be coming out that you can download the same games again through their new shop. So,
Yeah, well, that was specifically for the cloud versions, which
correct.
cloud version is like the worst, the worst of the worst end of the spectrum when it comes to like it's like here's physical playing on an off. I'm trying to line my hand up with where my screen is cropped. Physical games being played on a physical console with no online component or DRM is over here. You own it as hard as possible. Total ownership. On the other end of the spectrum is a digital key to a cloud gaming thing that
Yeah.
only lasts as long as they decide to have the servers up.
Yeah.
And everything we're talking about is in between, but the medium of where most games are is slowly slipping towards, dystopian
There's something to
status.
be said about the laws in other countries, not in the United States, but the laws that are happening in other countries, particularly the EU, where they are saying things like if you release a game and somebody pays for it, you must make that game available once you stop providing support to it, or transfer server ownership to the community to be able to continue to run that game. You can no longer kill that game. And those types of rules and laws, I think, are excellent. And the same aspect goes to Nintendo and the EU, where they've released the rights to repair law, where a console cannot be blocked out from ever being repaired by a third-party market. It has to have some way of being able to be fixed if something goes wrong with it, which I think are great for us gamers. Last point on this, I'm going to say, you've got these old consoles or these old games, Mario Sunshine. The only hope you have is that they continue to make that available in their third-party online service like they did with Donkey Kong 64 on the online system. Or what I think Nintendo is going to do, since we're a Nintendo-based podcast, most of those cult classic games are going to go to the route of Ocarina of Time. Full master remakes.
There's no chance they're gonna do a remake of
Probably
64.
not, but they may do. If you remember, Ocarina of Time, this is its third iteration. The middle iteration on the 3DS was just a polish and a re-release. They could do that.
Yeah, it could be. I do want to mention before we move on that the EU, with the right to repair thing, the next production version of the Nintendo Switch 2 will have the ability to replace the battery.
Yep.
Because right now, when your Switch's battery is done, you have to go into weird black market zone and void your warranty if you want to replace the battery. But the next generation of Switch 2 production models will have replaceable batteries, not like like AA, but you have the ability to replace the batteries.
Yeah.
I also want to say that it's cute that EU is saying, well, you're going to have to make these games available after you do it. That's the law. Because Sony will not make them available and be like, okay, it would cost us this many millions of dollars to follow these rules. Unless the penalty for not following the rules is more money than following the rules, we're going to break the law every single time and just pay.
A
Like
lot of companies do that.
That's what it's going to
A lot
be.
of companies do.
If a law, to quote, well, I heard this quote from Brennan Lee Mulligan, but I'm sure it's from somebody else that he's quoting it from. But if the penalty for breaking a law is a fine, it's a law only for the lower class.
Yeah. Yep.
So there's your little bit of philosophical meanderings for here. So yeah, long story short, Sony shit the bed, and Nintendo and Xbox are trying to take advantage of the blunder. Because PlayStation 5 has owned the market as the premier system for a long time, but this might be it. This might be Sony's fall from grace. Speaking of things falling out of the sky, Star Fox is here. The Star Fox remake is on the Switch 2. It's glorious. I have played it a lot. I've gotten the true ending. I've done every level. I've done a lot of the challenge quests. I've gotten some of the medals because I'm old. But
I was playing the final level where you have to fight Star Wolf and then go through the tunnel to the very end. I was just playing that earlier this morning.
Hell yeah. It's good. It is. I will say this is the best. I think this is the best Star Fox game. Period.
Okay.
Previously, Star Fox 64, despite Star Fox Adventures and Assault and all these little ones that have been in between, Star Fox 64 is considered the GOAT.
Yep.
And this is Star Fox 64 remade with the same mechanics, a fresh new coat of paint, new cutscenes, new multiplayer. Like, it's the best made better. So how could it not, by default, be the best?
Yeah.
And the game feels good. My concern going into this was that there was going to be some input delay jank. Some mechanics were going to be changed, but that's. I mean, it's been a dream.
Added mechanics with the first-person cockpit view.
Yes, and the mouse mode.
Yep.
The co-op. My son loves to play the co-op mode where one person drives, one person is the pilot, and the other person is the gunner.
From a couch co-op older person, right? I wish that there would have been more co-op options that were not the same pilot.
I wish we got the split screen that we had.
In true Nintendo fashion, they did a really good job about bringing in your child into the gameplay in a manner that does not hinder them because of the complexity of the game.
Yes. Also, and this is, I discovered this. I don't think I've talked about this on an episode yet, but you can game share. So you go into multiplayer and you can start a game share session and you can do local multiplayer battles with a Switch 1.
Ooh.
And this game isn't on the Switch 1. But you can take your Switch 2, go to multiplayer, the battles, right? CPU battle. You can't do it online, but you can do CPU battles and you can do local co-op via game share. You can start a game share session. You pick up your Switch 1, you go to game share. It says join game share. You have to be on the same wireless network. You join the game and you are now playing Star Fox 2 multiplayer on the Switch 1 or on a TV if the Switch 1 is docked. And, it doesn't look as nice as it does on the Switch 2. The frame rate is a little squirrely, but you can do it. And that's badass. And I don't know why that wasn't promoted more, because that's the main way that me and my son play now.
I'm going to tell you, that is possible on the Switch 1 through cloud gaming. Much as we want to shit on cloud gaming, there's a place for it.
That's not... I don't know. That's not cloud gaming.
Well, then how else is this Switch 1 getting access to that content?
It's playing it through the Switch 2. Cloud gaming is through the internet.
That would imply that the Switch 2 is producing 2 instances of the same game on one console and on the other, and then Bluetooth streaming them or Wi-Fi streaming them.
Yes, but it's in a closed network. If you didn't have access to the internet, you could still do this.
Oh, so it's not okay. That was why I thought
it's just through your local network. You have to be on the same network. If we try this, I can't join your game share network from anywhere else but your home Wi-Fi.
That's why I thought it was cloud gaming, because it has to be from Okay.
You can do the local multiplayer as a group through game share. So if I have Star Fox and you don't, and you have a Switch 2, I can game share with you through what is it called? The new chat thing. The Discord.
Okay.
Through a game chat session, that I would say is more akin to a true cloud gaming. Yeah. But if you're doing it locally, then it's just on the local network. So I would say this game is super worth it, especially because it's only $50.
Yeah.
Digitally. Physically, it's gonna.
So the nostalgia of this game, I think, is totally worth having the cost of this game. I also feel like the ability to play with your friends, do the co-op, the multiplayer, the fidelity of the graphics and the increase of this game, I think is absolutely phenomenal. The added content with the multiplayer and the raid mode and the challenge mode that they have added to this game, I think they've done a great job. And if this is any indication of the type of love and care that they're going to bring to Ocarina of Time, then I'm excited for what they've done with Star Fox.
Yes, yeah. It'll be interesting. There's been a lot of speculation about the new Ocarina of Time game based on how the Star Fox game has been handled. Is it going to be a one for one? Is it going to have some new stuff? We're going to have to wait and
I
see.
want there to be new stuff. I just don't
I do
want them
too.
to change the entire storyline, but I do want them to change the water dungeon. That's just me.
Speaking of adventures in the water,
Water is bad for a squid, apparently. Don't go
I
near a
know
water.
it is. You can't. We have tried the Splatoon. I'll phrase it this way. This is the YouTube title, right, for this segment. The Nintendads have played Splatoon Raiders early gameplay, early access, exclusive. We've played the first 3 levels of Splatoon Raiders, and here are our thoughts. It's a demo, guys. It's a
Yeah.
demo, and it's available at Best Buy and Target and GameStop and Walmart.
So if you
So
want to go physically walk into those stores and try the game yourself, you can, but you can't download the game and play the demo, which
I
is
think there's going to
why
be. I think they're going to make it available
I
after
think
the game.
that's why they're not calling this a demo,
They
because,
are calling it a
well,
demo, though.
an in-store only demo,
In-store demo, yeah.
right? There's not a digital demo for the general public to have access to.
Yeah.
You need to have a car and get to the location,
I mean, you could walk there,
I suppose.
but who can walk to a Target? Not me.
No.
So it's a 15-minute demo, and it includes a tutorial level, a basic level, I guess you could say, and then one of these like challenge levels where you dig deep. I was on the fence, as previously discussed. I was on the fence about Splatoon Raiders. I wasn't sure how a single player with some optional co-op was going to be. But then there was a direct on it that revealed more of the mechanics that I didn't watch at first. But then people started saying, like, hey, Splatoon Raiders is actually going to be more like sort of like a roguelite, sort of like a looter shooter, Borderlands, Diablo style game. It's not going to be just a narrative. Bleh.
I
And I was interested.
love the looter shooter aspect of the gameplay of this.
Me too. Me too.
Absolutely love it.
After I played the demo, I'll tell you what the moment it crossed into I'm going to buy this territory. So you do the tutorial for people who haven't played Splatoon, kind of a snooze. And then you get to the second area and it's like choose your tank type, and there's a speed tank, a power tank, and a tactics tank, which is hard to say, tactics tank. And you get 2 gadgets which are basically abilities. So you have a boomerang ability and a smackdown ability for the speed tank. You have a katana ability and like an orbiting, little hitbox thing ability for power, and then 2 other ones for tactics. These are on 10-second cooldowns. And there's a different set of them that you can equip and customize in the full game based on the tank type. So the tank types are basically classes. And not, when I say tank type, I don't mean like a tank. I mean like an ink tank that goes on your back that stores your ink. So there's basically 3 classes, and each class has 2 special abilities. These special abilities can be changed out for different special abilities and customized to be more powerful, have different variants, have different properties. As soon as I started using the gadgets, I was sold, because having an ability like in Diablo or like in Borderlands that's on a 10-second cooldown and you have 2 of them, So if you use one and you wait 5 seconds and then you use the other one and you keep that timing, you only have 5 seconds in between when you're using an ability. Not to get too mathematical, but
Mathematical.
that is a
You and frame
completely
rate
different
data is like,
that's a completely different tempo and style of game than, say, something like Salmon Run, which is kind of what this is based off of.
yeah, I enjoyed Salmon Run. I thought Salmon Run was fun. So like,
I've played a lot of Salmon Run since I played the demo. And in Splatoon Raiders, you're going to go around. It's a looter shooter kind of thing. So you're going to find weapons, you're going to find abilities, you're going to equip them. There's a lot of customization. There's RPG elements, so you're going to level up. Salmon Run, there's 4 weapons that are randomly assigned during a rotation. So like a couple day period will be the same 4 weapons. When you play, every round you're assigned a different weapon at random with a sub weapon at random and a special at random. So you have no control or agency or progression over any of your setup. And then you fight enemies. And are the enemies balanced, predictable? No, they're random. So if you like sticking your finger in a slot machine and sometimes money comes out and other times a hammer comes down and breaks your finger, then yeah, Salmon Run is the game for you. To me, Raiders takes the core essence of Salmon Run,
yeah,
of being a co-op, defeat all the enemies in time or survive a wave. It takes the good part of Salmon Run and gets rid of all the RNG nonsense that makes Salmon Run too frustrating to play long term, at least for me.
okay.
That's my take on it. The multiplayer, playing with friends, you can play with friends and you start in the story or mission level of the lowest progressed person in your party. So that's fine. That's fine.
That makes sense.
But when you're joining random people, you can only call for random people to come into your match on a timer. And we don't know what that timer is yet.
Yeah.
It could be once a day, it could be once an hour, it could be once every 15 minutes, but it's limited. You can search for these like SOS flares to compare it to Monster Hunter. But if you are responding to somebody else's flare, you don't get the same rewards as you would as if it's your mission. So there's a little bit of a weird discrepancy in terms of the format that is going to reward you for having a group of friends to invite to a private lobby, which is sort of a forced social aspect, which I'm not sure how I feel. I guess we're going to see how it shakes out when the game is out. But that's really my only criticism of the very limited view that I have of this game so far.
Okay.
What about you? You've played the demo. What do you
so
thoughts?
the very beginning stages of the demo seemed dull, like in color, vibrancy. There wasn't, like, I'm used to Splatoon being like vibrant and like bold. I think Splatoon 1 was a beautiful game because there was so much pop. And that first, oh shoot, that first, I must not have done that.
Is your Switch 2 being delivered as we speak? Live unboxing on episode 128.
I'm getting notifications about a couple things. I'm trying to figure out if that's like around the corner. I'm hoping that it is. Something got delayed, but not that. So I'm trying to figure out if that is also delayed. But as you continue to play through the demo, you get to like the water area, and it becomes a lot more vibrant. The second area where you choose the tanky thing.
A lot of this game happens underground too in some of the levels, so that kind of contributes to
a lot of that.
A more muted color palette. Here's my question for you. I have 2 questions for you. Okay. One of them is going to be the side quest. But have you seen enough of Splatoon Raiders, and have you played enough of the demo that you've made a decision? Are you getting the game? Because it comes
because
out on the 23rd, 11 days away.
because I know what else is coming out down the pipe and where my attention and time is going to be, it's not a game that I probably would have gone out of my way to purchase outside of our ecosystem. But the multiplayer aspect of this game and especially if our larger friend group is going to get into it, I think this is something that I should probably buy.
Well, that's great because I need you to play this with me. We need to stream this game. It's going to be $50 on physical, which is great. $60 or no, digital $50, physical $60. The bad news is you and I are the only people in our friend group that have Switch 2s.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't count on the friend group
The
at large.
larger
Also,
friend group.
even if all of our friends had Switch 2s, I guarantee you nobody's getting this game because we leaned into Splatoon 3 with so much enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And it was so disappointing in terms of the netcode, the disconnects, the balancing. I mean, I've been playing Splatoon 3 as a lead up to Splatoon Raiders, and it has improved a lot. It has improved a ton. But the core issue of matchmaking being horrendous and you cannot play 4 matches in a row. I will say in the beginning of the game, I would say it's 1 out of every 2 matches. You were saying something like, how did that happen? That was jank. This doesn't make any sense. I will say, being absolutely the most generous that I can be, I would say you can probably go 2 or 3 matches without something that is just horrifically wrong
Yeah.
happening online, like getting shot from behind a wall or cover or a corner or something. So it's improved.
There was
But
a
it's
lot of
still,
lag issues. I remember that.
it's still not good. It's still not great. I would say if you put the fairness and I can't believe I just died to that, this has to be a bug. If you put it up against any other game that has a similar pace, like any first person shooter or a fighting game or anything where the timing matters to any degree, it's awful. The net code is still pretty shitty. And Splatoon Raiders, I'm not really worried about that because it's PvE, it's not PvP, so it's sort of a different way of coding things. But yeah, Splatoon 3, they messed up so badly. I really can't ask any of our friend group besides you, because you're you, to jump into Raiders.
So the update is that my air filter and one of my Bones coffees will not be here until Wednesday. Everything else will now be here by 3 to 6 p.m. It was supposed to be here by 1, but now it says 3 to 6 p.m. It's still coming.
So, with that, my side question, when you get your brand spanking new Switch 2 and you peel the plastic off the screen and get it charged up, what's the first game you're playing on it? Is a little bit of an unfair question because you've borrowed somebody else's Switch 2 that you've played some games on. But when you have your own Switch 2, you could play Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom with the updated graphics and performance. You could play a new game like Mario Kart.
I would have to
World.
pay for the updated graphics, though, because I don't own the updated graphics.
Oh, because you don't have the expansion. Yeah, you do have to pay.
I have the expansion for Breath of the Wild, but that expansion was purchased before this was ever created.
The expansion pack for Nintendo online. Yeah. Didn't you buy it? Haven't you played Donkey Kong 64?
Because I don't have that. I didn't. No. Nope.
So what? The question stands. What are you playing first?
after I install and log into my profile, Lady Sage's profile, Sushi Cat's profile, and Little Red's profile,
By the
once
time you do all that, Splatoon Raiders will be out.
yeah, um, I probably will load up Mario Kart World.
Yes, because
Yeah,
you've played it though, right?
I've played one round on somebody else's Switch with 4 other little kids while they're all
Oh,
screaming. Like I have not been
right.
actually be able to play the
Yeah,
game.
yeah. Oh yeah, you
So
need to sit down, pop open one of those 0.002% beers of yours and just hit the road. Yeah.
yeah,
Cool. Do you have any side questions for me? Because I feel like I've been doing the interrogating here.
we've got a lot of games that are coming out in the next couple months. What is the games that you are most excited for?
Oh, it hurts me. It hurts me a little bit because I was trying really hard to not get Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, but I did.
Yep.
And then Splatoon, I never get games that I'm really looking forward to and have them overlap because Grand Blue Fantasy just came out and Raiders is coming out in 11 days. So I'm going to be double dipping, which I try not to do. The next thing on our list that this is not in the right order. The next release is going to be Orbitals on September 3rd.
Okay.
That is the next thing on my radar. Um, Minecraft Dungeons is right behind it on September 29th. We have No Rest for the Wicked with the the class remake in October. No date announced, but in October. And we have the 1.0 release, get ready, of Enshrouded finally going into commercial release out of beta on October 15th. So,
Okay.
nothing for the rest of July after Raiders, nothing in August. September, we got Orbitals, Minecraft Dungeons. October, we got No Rest for the Wicked and Enshrouded, both coming out of beta. Duskbloods open beta is happening sometime in the summer. No release date other than 2026. Fable, no release date, but coming in 2026. I'm going to bring up a sleeper that we haven't talked about in months. It's Warlock, the first
Oh,
person Dungeons and Dragons RPG set
yeah.
to come out in 2026. I haven't heard anything about this. I'm going to guess that this is going to get delayed.
Yeah.
I think it's going to get delayed. And then I have Lego Batman on here, which is not on my list. That's for you. Didn't
I've
that come out? Did it come out?
I don't
It may
know.
have.
Maybe. I have I have purchased Lego Harry Potter on the Switch too. Just saying.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Me and my family, we're reading through Sorcerer's Stone for the first time right now. We
Ooh.
just we just passed through the wall at platform 9 3/4 last night, and we're about to meet the Sorting Hat on
We
tonight.
just finished the series with Lady Sage and Sushi Cat last year. And funny enough, my son Little Red hasn't read it, so we're rereading it now with him.
Yeah. I'm looking so forward to the way we're going to do it is we're going to read the book and then we're going to watch the movie.
That's what we
And then
did.
we're going to read the book and then we're going to watch the movie. And then but I use a tool called Common Sense Media that is sort of a crowdsourced evaluation on different forms of media, so movies, books, video games, music, and it's a crowdsourced site about what age something is appropriate for.
Okay.
And it's very good. I would say it's a little bit on the conservative side as terms of like, oh, Howl's Moving Castle is recommended for ages 9 and up. But it's real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it errs on the side of caution a little heavier, but it's a good guide to use. And the first 3 Harry Potter books are like 8 and 9. And then the jump from the 3rd Harry Potter book to the 4th Harry Potter book is like a few years.
Oh.
And I don't really remember the story enough, but I do remember the first 3 Harry Potter movies came out, and it was like that was like at the height of Harry Potter in the movies. And then I remember they released a couple of books, and then they were like they went from being like little grubby kids to like teenagers. And now we're talking
So
about teenager stuff.
Harry Potter 4 is Goblet of Fire, and that's where you very much have a death.
Yes.
So
that's where Robert Patterson gets
Cedric
smoked.
Diggory. Yeah. Yeah.
That's when it's like, oh no, you're not spending a couple days in the medical ward. We're putting your
cat is not petrified. You're dead.
Yeah, that's when we cross the boundary. So I'm gonna stretch out these first 3 books as long as possible. We're really taking our time. I'm like, let's reread this passage. That was a beautiful description of this brick wall, right? Let's read it for the next 2 years.
Let's watch this film, but then let's rewatch it page by page and let's see where they match up.
Yeah, let's compare script to screen. All right, look it, 55 minutes. We are signing out. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. We're going to try to do this every Sunday. We said it, and then we failed, but we're going to keep trying.
Family and life. So.
If we could keep this episode under an hour, talking about the crumbling foundation of the video game industry, thanks to Sony, we can figure out how to do this every week, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right, take care, everybody. I will be back streaming on Tuesday, I believe, and then the week after that, it's Raiders time.
Raiders!
I didn't. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Peace out.